Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Coffee Company. It's lovely to see 3 people in the chat already. Today's going to be a very chill day today because the weather is horrible, the wind is blowing, most of my stuff that I planned to do today has already been cancelled, which is a deep shame. So yeah, we're just going to have a chill thing here today. And we're going to talk about something very different that maybe none of you might not have any clue about at all. But we're going to talk about it anyway, because I'm in charge of the channel, and I do what I want. So we're going to do that. So we're going to wait for a few people to come into the building, and then we'll see who's in the chat. Yeah, the weather's been awful this morning so far, and this afternoon. Blowing like hell, 100-mile-an-hour winds, and it's apparently going to get worse throughout the day. He says as his tree starts blowing. I'm worried about my tree falling over. It's going to be a very chill thing because I've got my shul service on Sunday, which should be rather fun. And yeah. Cartman Farming Simulator saying, afternoon Ben, afternoon all. Brace yourselves in. London, brace yourselves in London. Lady Eunice is on her way. Lady Eunice is here. Lady Eunice is here. She's been blown over quite some heavy fridges this morning. It's blown over my sign once on Tottenham Tantrum Gold. Yeah, it's a bit of a clatter. The wind is... It's not a joke. This is a strong storm we've got here. Maybe it'll bring some cool weather as well, instead of just boring weather we've got here in the UK. Yeah, but she's on her way. Red warnings all throughout Essex, where I'm at. Essex, London. So, be careful out there. I don't know what I'm going to do to get home. I don't know if there's going to be any trains on the way home. I was originally supposed to get a lift, but my lift has been cancelled, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to get home. Especially as I've got precious cargo with me today, which is part of the reason for today's stream title. Whilst people get in, I'm going to actually make myself a coffee. So, not yet, she's just passed us in Southampton now. We're on the tail end now. I don't know what we're being hit with now then, because it's windy. I'll make myself an espresso. Gonna go for a single. Not a bad looker, is it? $122 mph recorded on the Isle of Wight. Yep, it's a strong one. That's a strong one. So don't have to do any milk today. So cheers. Perfect temperature. Perfect temperature. Tiny bit acidic. need to change the grind, I think. I don't know what the extraction time was. Tiny bit sour, maybe. Right, coffee done. Oof. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. We're probably not going to have so many viewers today because there have been a lot of Spurs channels arguing with each other this morning. Mr. Brian Daigle, my hero, is on Let's Talk Tottenham today. But I'm not going to interfere with their arguing. I don't like arguing. Even though I'm very good at it. So it goes. Biscuits and sausage? Bloody hell. Why are we having biscuits and sausage? Good afternoon, Ben. Hopefully you battened down the hatches. Yeah, we haven't needed to do that much. Hi Ben, I haven't ventured out. Oh, having a lazy day. Yep, stay safe everyone. Most important thing, stay safe. It's going to be very windy out there. So yeah. All they do is argue and they don't play for there's always room for argument. There's always room for a discussion. The problem is a lot of people have arguments for the sake of arguments. And that's their right to do that as civilised members of a civilised society. I am not someone that likes to I want to fix issues. I'm not here to argue with my friends. Especially you'll never probably never once hear me arguing with Brian Daigle. We get on like a house on fire, so it's probably why we haven't been arguing. But I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about, but there are too many people that are here just to annoy other people and be toxic, and that's not what we're here to do. We're here to have fun at the end of the day. We're here to be friends with each other. Hopefully you tried one of my coffees this morning, Nifa. Hopefully you had a great coffee. It's lovely to see you, Derek and Nifa and Biscuit Sinclair. Hopefully you're all doing well. Hopefully you're having a safe day and hopefully you're chilling out. That's all we can hope for. But as you can tell, I am not here to argue. I'm here to just chill out. It's their right, but it's become toxic viewing, but I need to realise this is great. Enjoy yourself, Biscuit Sinclair. That's what I've designed the stream for. I want people to relax. The world is not a nice place at the moment. I'm not here to have stress, otherwise I will end up in the hospital. So, now that we've got through the first 15 minutes, as you can tell from the title of the stream, guitars? Maybe. I was supposed to have my guitar lesson at this time today, but due to the wind, my lesson has been cancelled. So I just thought we'd talk about guitars on here, because why not? So I have brought, we can, let's take the epoch cam, take you off. So I have brought my child to work today. This is my Grech Streamliner 24-20 their budget range of guitars. But it's nothing budget about it. This is one of my best friends. That's why I brought her here. I was supposed to get her restrung here, which is why I brought it here. I don't usually take this guitar out. I usually take my Gibson, which is crazy really. Like, Ben, why are you taking your more expensive guitar and not your budget guitar? Because it's smaller and it's easier to carry. This is not a light guitar in its case, because I have to have this, because it's a hollow body. So if I put this on, it's totally hollow. So it's almost like having an acoustic guitar, but with two pickups on it, which makes it very vulnerable to falling over and breaking. So I have it in a very heavy hard shell case, and I look after this guitar a lot. This is, at this moment in time, this is my number one. So this is my number one. My two heroes growing up, or no, not growing up, the music I loved growing up was the Beatles. And in my opinion, the most prominent part of the Beatles sound for me is Mr. George Harrison and his, in the early days he would be running a Duojet, one of the original Duojets, but it had been modified with a Bigsby, because the person that he bought it from wanted a Bigsby on it. So he put a Bigsby on it. And later in like the Ed Sullivan show, George was using a Country Gentleman, which is one of my dream guitars. It's probably not the one I'm going to buy, but it's one of my dream guitars. Because how many guitars can you have? So I compromised and got myself a hollow body that's not too expensive. These run on about £520, about that. Maybe slightly more now, maybe 540. And I've modded it to within, so I've put, oh, I can't really put my leg up. I've put this string spoiler on to make it easier to restring. And I've also put this rocking bar bridge. That's what I've done myself. And I've put two brand new Filtertrons on it, because this guitar came with what's called Broadtrons, which are a bit more like humbuckers. They're a bit more like PAFs, so they're a bit warmer, not as chimey, a bit more aggressive. So I put on vintage voiced Filtertrons, one a TV Jones classic in the bridge position, and just a stock blacktop Filtertron in the neck position, which I'm probably going to change soon. As soon as I get a bit of money, I'm going to change it and put another TV Jones classic on it, because I love these pickups. Those pickups are the best for me. So let's read through some of these comments. Problem is great guitar. Yep, thank you, Biscuits and Claire. Neither saying just had lunch, so we'll be having that special coffee around 3 PM. Thought you would be on later. Yeah, I thought I was going to be on later as well, but my lesson's been cancelled. Carlton was saying, nice guitar, I have an Epiphone. Yeah, I love Epiphones are great now. I'm a Gibson guy, so I prefer Gibsons. If I'm going to go for that style guitar, I want a real one, in my opinion. Not that Epiphone. Epiphone guitars are unbelievable now for the price. Cartman saying, you are spot on, his guitar sound was yeah, it was. The rhythm playing from George Harrison and the lead playing was it's fundamental. That chime, that sparkle you get from George Harrison's Grech is so important. And in later years, Georgie picked up Fenders, and he had an SG at one point. Eric Clapton gave him his red Les Paul Lucy. It's very important, George Harrison. As soon as he decided to leave, that band was dead. He was important for that band, and he was a great bloke as well, George Harrison. Philip Brady said, who are your guitar influences? My main two influences, the way I want to play guitar, are the man, the myth, the legend. I believe he was the greatest guitar player in his... I think Malcolm Young was the greatest I've ever seen. I wish I could have seen him live. For me, there is something... Malcolm Young was the heartbeat of AC/DC. He was the leader of that band. He was more than a guitar player. He was a standard. As soon as Malcolm got onto that stage, he was the absolute business. No one is as good as him for what he did in his sort of as being the rhythm player. And he could play brilliant leads as well, but he didn't, because he just held it down. He held it down, and about was the heartbeat of AC/DC. So my two favourites are Malcolm Young and Brian Setzer, the rockabilly guitar player, because I love rockabilly music. For anyone that spends a decent amount of time in this channel, I love rockabilly music. Rockabilly is my favourite. It's what I grew up with. I grew up with Eddie Cochran's. I grew up with Eddie Cochran. I grew up with Dwayne Eddy's. I mean, the most important thing is I usually liked guitarists that used Grech's. Chet Atkins, another one. Love Chet Atkins, legendary guitar player. Chet Atkins. I'm trying to think. My mind's gone blank. I loved Elvis style music. I love that 50s rock and roll rockabilly era. That's my thing. So Brian Setzer coming in and being the more modern rockabilly guy. He's my guy. Brian Setzer is my other. If I was going to do rhythm guitar playing, Malcolm Young, absolutely the greatest rhythm guitar player to ever happen, ever. The best one to ever live. Undisputed, in my opinion. Undisputed. But I think that I would love to do stuff like Brian Setzer, because that man is a genius. I love the hot rods lifestyle. I love 50s. I love the rock and roll. I love Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry's another rockabilly guy. Jerry Lee Lewis style. Not that he had much of a guitar player, because he was a piano player. But I love that style. That boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka boom boom chicka boom. That sort of Johnny Cash style. Big thumping bass. Big loud guitar. You can't beat it. Question. There was a famous group in the days of the Beatles that came from Tottenham. Oh, can you? Oh no, I can't name it. Biscuits and Claire. This is better than grown men screaming like babies all day because of a football team. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna slay other people. They can do what they want. As long as they don't do it on my show and they don't make my show toxic, they can do what the hell they want. Love some of those boys. Look, I need to chill. I don't need the stress. I don't want to be ill anymore. I'm fed up of being ill. Anthony Gray saying, well, oh, Dave Clark 5. So, yeah, he got it. Philip Brady, Godfather. I need to actually introduce Philip Brady. Welcome to the show, my friend, and it's lovely to see you as always. As well as Anthony and Carterman and Biscuit Sinclair. Everyone welcome. I play fingerpicking. I've been influenced by Mark Knopfler. Yeah, Mark Knopfler is a local hero of mine as well, because if you go back, Mark Knopfler for many years lived in Epping Forest. He tutored someone I know, a very close family friend of mine, when he was working at Epping Forest College, when he was living in Debden. So Mark Knopfler is basically a local hero from where I'm from, as in Loughton. So yeah, I love Mark Knopfler's music. I mean, the Sultans of Swing is like one of the greatest songs of all time. It's definitely in the top 20 in my book. Where is the show Tottenham Tantrum Gold today? We did a show this morning, and it was a very good show. I enjoyed it. It was a good show. Philip Brady's saying, love rockabilly as well. Yeah. Biscuits and Claire, love Buzzard. Cutwith, yep. Bert Whedon. Big up Mr. Derek Hutchinson, lovely to see you here, sir. Biscuits and Claire, you are wonderful, Mr. Kaufman. I try to be. All I can ask for is you guys have a good time, you chill out, we have a cup of coffee together, and we have a good time. We've got no need. We've got no need to be horrible to each other. Let's just have fun, and then talk about cool guitars. I love talking about cool guitars. But on YouTube, look up the Dave Clark 5 at the Royal Tottenham. They were amazing. That's good stuff. They ring a bell now. Biscuits and Claire saying, great trivia, Anthony. I'm going to ask this to you. Who are your guys' favourite guitar players? Or musicians? Who are your favourite musicians? I'd like to know. And going back to Philip's comment about Malcolm over Angus. Angus put Malcolm over... Even Angus put Malcolm over himself. Angus is my very close number 3. I love Angus Young's playing. I love Angus Young's playing. The vibrato, the Shaw blues energy, but it was like hard blues energy, like really old school, full blown Chuck Berry influence on him. Angus is brilliant. But my favourite's Malcolm. That Shaw, I can't. The problem is I can't play AC/DC riffs. If I play an AC/DC riff, I'll get done for copyright. So I'd love to play some AC/DC, but I can't. It's a real shame. That Shaw blues energy. Love Nard Stash, good stuff. Thank you. Yeah. Jimi Hendrix, yeah, Hendrix. You can't. That sound is still there. That sound is there. The Strat or the SG into 2 Marshall stacks. That is a sound. There's nothing better than that. There's not many things better than... Of course, my favourite sound is a Grech into a couple of plexis, into a couple of super leads. I just like Marshalls because I'm English. British, whatever. I just love Marshalls. There's nothing better, I think, amp-wise, than a Marshall Plexi dimed. There's nothing better than that. That aggression, the loudness, the response. Like you put your finger, if you play a sort of a Marshall style amp and you have it on 10, as soon as you put your finger on the string to fret a note, you hear it, you can feel the amp physically moving, you can feel the tubes moving. It's the power of having a Marshall. Favourite songwriter is John Lennon, and favourite guitar player is Clapton, favourite performer is Jerry Lee, but my favourite of all time is Johnny Cash. You can't say any more. They're all brilliant. Clapton is... I might go and see Clapton at the Albert Hall. He's doing a show. There's a couple of great shows coming up. Joe Bonamassa's doing a great show at the Albert Hall in May. And I might go as a birthday treat. I love Joe Bonamassa, he's brilliant. Love his guitar collection as well. I like that. My favourite thing about Joe Bonamassa is he gets his like really expensive stuff and he gets Epiphone to make cheaper, or not budget versions of them, so people can get that sort of that history. That's really wonderful. It means they can really, people can feel like they own a piece of history, and that's magical. Not everyone can afford a Les Paul Standard or a Grech 6120 or an American Fender Stratocaster or a Telly. I'm saving up for my two dream guitars, my White Falcon and my Les Paul Standard. My Les Paul is going to be quite an expensive one because I'm gonna mod it. Basically, I'm gonna put a Bigsby on it because I love a Bigsby. A great story. I'm gonna put my guitar down because it's getting a bit heavy on my leg. Anthony Gray saying James Burton, John Wilkinson, Jerry Schleffem, Elvison's backing I enjoyed. Yeah, great. Apparently, I am related to a man who is very famous in the guitar world. Apparently, it makes sense because of where he was from and where my family moved to after the Second World War. A lot of them. And even before the Second World War, for the most part. There is a very famous man who went by the name of Doc Kaufman. And before I tell you the possible story, hopefully it's true. It makes sense that it's true. I'd like to figure it out. We'd like to go through the records to see if it's true. Without Googling it, what did Doc Kaufman design? The only thing I'm going to tell you is it's something to do with guitars. I'm going to put his name in the chat. What did Doc Kaufman invent? Oh, that was much faster. What did Doc Kaufman design on the guitar? I really hope I'm related to this man. And we think we are because it makes sense. Elvis's backing group is so underrated. Yeah, they were brilliant. So much tempo. Love Elvis's playing. What did Doc Kaufman invent? He helped invent two major things. Well, one of them isn't a thing, but he invented something or designed something. No, it wasn't going electric, but good. I'm gonna get a glass of water for myself. That is right, Philip Brady. I don't know if you Googled it, but fair play. Doc Kaufman invented the tremolo arm. Seppi is in the house! Seppi! He is awoken! Seppi! My boy, how are you today, sir? Doc Kaufman was a lap steel guitar player out of Petaluma, California, or in at least that northern Californian area. And the story is that my family moved to the north of California and started a chicken farm, and that chicken farm still exists. Kaufman's Chicken Farm. In Petaluma, California. He was a lap steel guitar player. He was born Clayton. But he was from north of California. And the story was that my family moved to the north of California many years ago and started a chicken farm. And that was where Doc Kaufman was from. And there's a museum about it even in Petaluma, California. So I'm surprised we haven't been there yet. I'd love to go, just to see a Kaufman's chicken farm. I think that'd be brilliant. But Clayton Kaufman invented the tremolo arm. So, to think, without me even knowing, the man that helped invent something I love on all my guitars, which is a Bigsby tremolo arm. I love a Bigsby because I love rockabilly music. For me, you can't have rockabilly without a Bigsby. Well, you probably can't. So it's in my hands. It's meant to be. But Doc Kaufman helped form a company, a little company. It's a really small company. It's called the Fender Guitar Company. So Doc Kaufman helped invent something which has changed the world in terms of music. Him and Leo Fender. So I really hope I am related to him, because firstly it shows that the Kaufmans could do something and be legendary about it. Just a little company he helped start. So I'd love to see if that's it. I mean, he's got my surname and the story checks out for the most part. I'm going to believe it. There aren't many Kaufmans about. But yeah, that's the story. Doc Kaufman, the inventor of the tremolo arm for Rickenbacker at the time, he helped design the tremolo arm because he was a lap steel guitar player. Yes, I've heard of Leonard Cohen. Leonard Cohen's great. I mean, he recently passed, didn't he? Was that another... Too many of it. There's too many. Yeah, he did. He recently passed. He was great. I thought so. I like most Jewish people making music, to be honest. There aren't many that I don't like. Seppi's saying I have awoken. I haven't been to sleep yet. Bloody hell, Seppi. What's wrong with you, Seppi? Gotta go to bed, son. What is this? So that's part of the story about Clayton Kaufman. Otherwise, no, he changed his name to Duck. So I'd like to see what his life was like, other than him being a lap steel guitar player. It's great stuff. I want to know, guys, just because I'm nosy, what are your favourite guitar parts in music? What are your favourite guitar parts? Because there's so many great ones. You've got everything from, let's say, Hendrix's, just Hendrix in general, Wind Cries Mary, can't beat it. You got the Clapton Cream days with his 335 and his SG that he used prevalently for Cream, and the stuff like the Yardbirds as well. You can have anything AC/DC really. The powerful chords and the rhythmic guitar playing from Malcolm Young and Angus Young's solos and bluesy stuff. You could say the Beatles and George Harrison. Even if you're one of these modern chaps that likes John Mayer. John Mayer's brilliant. And even so, I play the piano, but not for a while. My piano needs tuning. Yeah, there's a few piano tuners about. My mother can't tune her piano anymore. It's well too old now, which is a real shame. I don't know if there's a way you can fix that, but I think it's long past it. Bernard Edwards from the 70s group Chic. That's so cool. That's cool, yeah. That is a difficult one. There's so many. There's some great ones. Hot for Teach is always great from Van Halen. R.I.P. EVH. The world misses him already. That was a hard one to take. There's some great metal tunes like Pantera. Pantera are brilliant if you like that style of music. It's not my bag. I really like a lot of the Boston stuff. Is brilliant. A lot of the Boston stuff. The Eagles are brilliant with their guitar rhythmic playing. Brad Paisley is incredibly underrated. How good he is. Love a bit of Brad Paisley. So many good ones. We're about to go into the era, another era of guitar music, and I'm very much looking forward to it. My personal guitar hero, John Fogerty, with Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard. Oh yeah. I played the triangle at school. You gotta play something. You're keeping time, Anthony. You were the man keeping the show together. But there's some great stuff coming out. It's about to come out. The guitar is coming back. The guitar is coming back into popular culture. Synthesizers will be dead soon. Everyone's going to start playing the guitar again. More people are buying the guitar than ever before because of the because of lockdown. That's one of the greatest things. It's the one thing you can say about lockdown. Lockdown is going to bring back guitar music, because the amount of people that have picked up musical instruments now and actually love it, it's increased massively. As well as a lot of the YouTube channels that are around, like Anderton's and That Pedal Show and Phil McKnight and so many of them. Norm's Rare Guitars and all these cool music channels that are about now. Can't think of his name, but I like the singer who sings Diamonds on the Sole of Her Shoes. Ooh. Paul Simon. Love Paul Simon. Just had to look that up just to remember. Yeah, Paul Simon was a genius when it came to the guitar. He was a genius. He's one of the most underrated people of all time. It's another Jewish fella. I mean, Paul Simon and Garfunkel. Simon and Garfunkel. They deserve more credit for what they did. They built some great progressions. They did some great stuff. Bridge Over Troubled Water, Mrs. Robinson, Call Me Out. So many great songs. But yeah, that's some great music. That's the one, Paul Simon. I just adore his music. Yeah, he's amazing. And he's still going strong as well, doing some great projects with lots of people, giving back to the community. What a guy he is. He's a lovely bloke, apparently. I don't know him personally. Wish I did. I'd like him to give me some tips. It's a... A band that definitely doesn't get mentioned enough is Kiss as well. I love a bit of Kiss. If you're in the mood, a bit of Kiss is great. A bit of Crazy Nights, Rock and Roll All Night, Detroit Rock City. You can't forget about Detroit Rock City. Shouting Out Loud. There's so many. I can't stop loving you, baby. God Gave Rock and Roll to You. So many tunes. Loved Kiss. They did some great records as well. And we can't go about keep on going through Jewish musicians just like Paul Simon and Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley without going to the Bee Gees, even though they weren't actually Jewish, they looked it. They're the most Jewish-looking non-Jewish people on the planet. The Gibbs. Even if we've got a Jewish name, Gibb. Gibb's a very Jewish name. The Bee Gees were excellent. I love the Bee Gees. They just had it. Bee Gees were brilliant. I think that espresso wasn't enough for me. I've had it and it hit me and now it's gone again. I need another coffee, I think. But it's some great stuff. I'm just going to have a glass of water. I saw Paul Simon at Albert Hall Graceland concert. I bet that was magic. I bet that was magic, Derry. How was it? I bet that was so good. I mean, I bet that was brilliant. I saw Status Quo a few times. I never saw them at the Albert Hall though. I mean, I never played the Albert Hall, I think. At least actually, no, I think they probably did at some point. Oh no, they did. Status Quo were brilliant live. I used to like watching Status Quo. I saw Status Quo 6 times, I think. Status Quo were brilliant. So another guy that goes up there on the guitar list is, oh bloody hell, Rick Parfitt. Forgot that for a second. Yeah, Rick Parfitt was a rhythmic genius as well. I'll join you. Time for my coffee. Good stuff. I had one-time chance to see the Quo and it got cancelled. Absolutely gutted me, yeah. Quo were great live. Bon Jovi was great live as well. That's one thing I ticked off my bucket list. I saw Bon Jovi before Richie Sambora left. Richie Sambora was... I saw Bon Jovi twice. Bon Jovi were brilliant live. They were great. Bon Jovi was brilliant. I've seen the Bootleg Beatles as well. The Bootleg Beatles were brilliant. I've seen them a load of times. Seen Duran Duran was excellent. Gotta love a bit of Duran Duran. Mid-Year from Ultravox was brilliant. I saw Bananarama, minus one of them. It was fantastic. I bet it was. I love a bit of Ultravox. So seeing mid-year was brilliant. Not allowed to play AC/DC, Dermot. Not allowed. I don't wish to get a copyright strike on the channel. I'd love to play some AC/DC, but I can't. I wish I could. Ah, it's a real shame. Copyright rules are so dumb. What is your favourite AC/DC song, Ben? It's You Shook Me All Night Long. I love that song. You shook me all night long. Love AC/DC. Paul Simon's Travis picking style was one of the best in the world. I tried to learn it and found it near impossible, yeah. The man was a genius. Bam, 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 bam. Love a bit of Paul Simon. Ooh, that's a nice smelling coffee. Need to say cheers to Nifa because she's going to be getting one of my coffees in a minute. So cheers to everyone. I saw Status Quo at the Milton Keynes Bowl. I bet that was great. I saw them at a few places. I saw them at Wembley Arena twice. I can't remember. I've seen them a few places. I've seen Elton John twice. Elton John was brilliant live. I just love watching Elton John. Elton John's another genius. He's another. Saw Bowie in Dublin once at Wembley, and George Michael live. I've seen George Michael 8 times because my mother forced me to go. And I will never forgive my mother for taking me to 8 George Michael concerts. And I don't like George Michael's music. Some of the songs are great, but I don't like it. I do not. I've seen it. I've seen George Michael 8 times. That hurts. Including once in Dublin. I went to the Point in Dublin. It's a great venue. I'd love to have seen Bowie. I never saw him. trying to think of other bands I've seen. I've seen a fair few, amazingly. I'm going to a concert very soon, actually. My first concert in many years. It's on the 13th of March, I believe, the one I'm going to. Yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun. I've always wanted to see Luke Combs, and he's performing that night. We're going on the Sunday of that road trip. And I love Luke Combs' music. I love that old school country. Luke Combs is great. Very, very good guitar player. Very good musician. Very good songwriter. Band's very good as well. So I definitely recommend you to listen to some Luke Combs if you like that old school country. I was trying to think. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going to a concert again. It's about time. You can't be afraid forever. I've been vaccinated 4 times. If I get it again, then screw it. So yeah, looking forward to going to a concert again. There is a very underrated group called Elliot Brood, and I'm hoping to see them next month. People should check them out on YouTube. So yeah, Carterman knows his stuff, so maybe they're good. I'll have to write that down. I am gonna write it down actually. Have I got something I can write stuff down on? Right on here. Written down. David Bowie, the best live act I ever saw. Apparently it was excellent. Peter Gabriel at Earls Court was a great concert. Earls Court was a great venue. I'm so upset they got rid of that venue. I still don't really know what they're doing with it in terms of, I think they're keeping it, but I don't think they can use it as a concert hall anymore. Possibly. It's not a big venue, Earls Court. Going to see the Eagles in June. Yes, you did say that. I think that's still with yeah, it is. It's still with Vince Gill. But it's not with Don Felder. That's the problem. Is it really the Eagles without Don Felder? I don't think so. Another band that is considered one of the best live acts from Canada called the Sadies. I have seen them twice and never been disappointed. That's cool. I did almost, if it was going to be, I don't know if, I mean, it still is going. George Strait is doing a concert with Willie Nelson. It's, yeah, 29th of April. I bet that's sold out immediately. I can't justify going to Texas to see a concert. As much as I'd love to see Willie Nelson and George Strait perform together. I bet that's a great gig. There's some great gigs going on. It's the return of music. It's going to be fun. There's going to be some great stuff. Who would you guys like to see in the next couple of years? If you could see any band that's still touring at the moment, who would you go and see? And Harmony. Cool. One Love, okay. We're going to do two questions. Which touring band, if they're still going to tour, would you see? If you could see any touring band at the moment, it's going to do a concert. And what band would, if you could see any band ever in the history of ever, who would you go and see if you could see them? That's my question to you, chat. If you could see any touring band now, who would you see? And if you could see any band ever in the history of the world, who would you see? See what you say. My friend Dermo will probably be like, oh, I want to see the Dubliners. And you're probably right, I would go and see the Dubliners, possibly. It's one of the bands I'd go and see. I bet that's a great night out. If I could see any touring band now, who would I see? The problem with old bands live is they haven't replaced certain members, so it's not the same. Yeah, I agree. Any touring musician I would see, I would probably go and see Brad Paisley. So I love Brad Paisley's music. I love that style of country. If I could see any band ever, it would be 1970s AC/DC. It would be with Bon Scott. I'd love to see Bon Scott. Now, Tom Waits. Okay, cool. Anthony's saying Elvis Presley, if I go back in time, it will be 1970 at Las Vegas. He was in his prime, in my opinion. See the movie, that's the way it is. Yeah, that's a great one. Cartman saying the Furies from Ireland. Cool. I'd love to be in one of those little concert halls in the 70s. Bon Scott at the helm. Malcolm and Angus Young. Phil Rudd. 70s AC/DC. I reckon that would be awesome. The loudness, the projection. Any band ever, Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. Cool. That's a great shout. That's a really good shout. I'm surprised no one didn't throw like a curveball and say Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I mean, that would be interesting. Imagine you could go and see Mozart do a symphony. Which you could, I'm putting that in there. I'm putting that in there. Any musical concert. I'd love to see someone like Beethoven or Mozart or Salieri. Imagine you were there at the time when that style of music was written, and then you've never heard it before, and then suddenly they come out with the La Traviata. Imagine you were there when Libiamo Nieletti Calici was performed. Imagine being there. I mean, that boggles my mind. Imagine that. I mean, we will be listening to that song. When was that song written? Giuseppe Verdi, I think it was, wasn't it? It was written in 1853. Giuseppe Verdi, cool, yeah, I got it right. I mean, it boggles, it's, imagine you were there in that night in 1853 and you went to see La Traviata, you've never seen it before. No one had ever seen it, and you went to the opening night of La Traviata and they come out with Libiamo Nieletti Calici. The three Domingos, yeah. Imagine the three tenors. You could see a Pavarotti concert. I mean, you would be so lucky if you were there and you heard. No one knew that song before, and you could that famous chorus. That's going to be famous for the rest of time. No one will ever forget that duet. No one. It's the same with the Moonlight Sonata, Beethoven. No one will ever forget that piece of music. People will forget pieces of music. Even some of the stuff we have now is quite forgettable. There are certain pieces of music that will never be forgotten. That's another question for the chat. What do you reckon What if you could choose one song that's never going to be forgotten from the history pages? What do you reckon it would be? Songs that will never be forgotten. I mean, for me, an obvious one would be Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't think anyone will ever forget that song. It's just legendary. Or Let It Be from the Beatles. I mean, people will still be listening to the Beatles in 200 years, in my opinion. When we're all dead and buried, people will still be listening to the music we listen to, somewhat. Might be sound silly, but my music up-to-date knowledge dwindled dramatically after Top of the Pops. Yeah, it did. That show kept me up to date on today's music. Lost a bit now. Yeah, it happened. Imagine by John Lennon. Yeah, that's another one that will be remembered. Beautiful song. Both Carterman and Anthony got it.
Looking for royalty-free music? Discover Epidemic.
Yeah. I still think people will be listening to Bohemian Rhapsody in 200 years. What songs are going to be remembered from this era of music? Most of it's rubbish. Most of it is rubbish. No one's going to want to listen to Dua Lipa in 200 years. I don't like listening to her now. It's rubbish. Maybe Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. John Mayer might be remembered. That's a great opening riff. Wonderwall will be listened to in 200 years, I reckon. Don't Look Back in Anger. It's probably the last real... Well, let's have a look at it. Green Day, maybe. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Rhapsody was a masterpiece, yeah. And it's getting better as it gets older. Let's have a look at it. Linkin Park maybe. The Chili's maybe. U2 maybe. Aerosmith. I mean, people will remember Walk This Way. I mean, these bands are... who's going to remember System of a Down in 200 years? No one's going to want to listen to that. I don't like listening to it now. I mean, music's got to get better because the music's now is terrible. I don't listen to it. I mean, who's going to remember the Swedish House Mafia in 200 years? No one. It's alright, actually, the Swedish House Mafia. I like Swedish House Mafia. But who's going to remember it? Yeah, Queen's management laughed at them when they... Yeah. And then they made them look like fools. The managements were still laughing, though. They were still making bank off of it, so they didn't care. There's a problem with the music industry. You can get it all wrong, but still make a ton of money. I mean, Zeppelin will still be listened to in 200 years because Jimmy Page is a genius. Trying to think. Who will be remembered in 200 years from these days? I think it's only going to be Green Day. Green Day or the Chili's. None of the bands from now are going to be remembered, really. Green Day's not even from now. Green Day is 30 years old now. Green Day started in the 90s, for God's sakes. Green Day is 30 years old. It's not modern music. It can almost be considered classic rock now, is how old it is. Not that it is, because it's alternative. They need to bring back Top of the Pops though. And they need to make it like it was in the 70s and the 80s. Stick to music. Just play the music. No comments, no comedy show, no top tens. Just play the bleeding music. That would be wonderful. People would watch Top of the Pops. I would watch Top of the Pops. Get some decent presenters. It'll be fun. Bobby Joe. Do you mean Billy Joe, Cuba? Lovely to see you as always, Cuba. Tried the coffee without milk, was good, and my kitchen filled with the lovely aroma of the Valentine's blend. Yes. Would you prefer it with milk or without milk? It's a question. Snow Patrol Run brings a tear to my eye. Cool. Snow Patrol might be remembered. Yeah. Oops, of course I meant Billy Joe. Yeah, Billy Joe. What a guy. Love Billy Joe Armstrong. He's got some good takes on things. Not always right, of course, but he's at least he likes people. At least he puts on a good show. I'd like to see a Green Day gig. I bet that'd be awesome. Uptown Cuba. Ooh. I've got Uptown Girl now stuck in my head now, Cartman. Bloody hell. Uptown Cuba. It's been living in an uptown world. I wonder if he's performing anymore. He still is performing. He's performing in Las Vegas very soon. Next week, in fact. He's with Metallica, Greta Van Fleet. I mean, that's a hell of a concert. Madison Square Garden. Good for him. Good for Billy Joel. Chaz and Dave. Spurs are on their way. I'm really sad I never saw them. I'd love to have seen them. Never got a chance. I mean, they performed, my parents went. Should have seen that. Got my beer on sideboard here. Love to have seen that. It's a shame. I'd love to see them. People will still be remembering Chaz and Dave in 200 years. So actually, Anthony, you're spot on. You are spot on. People will still be playing Chaz and Dave in 200 years because whilst Tottenham are a football club, Chaz and Dave will exist. That's actually a really good shout. They should have more Chaz and Dave at the bloody stadium. At least it might be good to listen to, unlike the stuff they are playing at the stadium. I saw Chaz and Dave twice and they were fantastic. I bet they were. Did they do Spurs are on their way to Wembley or no? Bit of hot shot Tottenham. Love a bit of hot shot Tottenham. Bit of Gertcha. Gertcha's great. Gertcha. Gertcha. That's, it's good, yeah. Chaz and Dave will be remembered just because of Tottenham. I wonder when Paul Simon's actually next performing, speaking of Paul Simon. There were no tour dates. No, but I did Snooker Loopy and Diddum Song and Gertcha. I'll have to make another cuppa, but I will be back. One can never tire of Chaz and Dave. Absolutely, Nifa. Absolutely. I love Chaz and Dave. Also love a bit of Madness, even though one of them's a Chelsea fan, but we'll have to forgive him for this one. Love a bit of Madness. Madness are great. I've seen Madness 3 times, from what I can remember. Madness were great live. Night boat to Guru. Bum 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 bum. That's just every Madness song ever. Bum 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 bum. Madness were great. Has anyone here seen Madness? Bit of baggy trousers. Love a bit of baggy trousers. That was the only time they did New Year's Eve properly, when they had Madness on. You gotta have Madness on New Year's Eve. I have all their music on disc and vinyl, yeah. Madness 3 times. That's just one step beyond. One step beyond. Love Madness. I met Suggs many years ago at Hackney Greyhound track. I bet he was a top bloke actually. I bet he was a proper geezer. Trying to think of other guys. Yeah, but Madness were a great show. Right. Chaz and Dave, my heroes. Rip Charlie, yeah, that was sad. That was really sad, that was. That hurt. That really hurt. Chaz was a lad. He was a proper Tottenham geezer. I mean, that's a concert you could definitely put on the thing. If you could see any concert ever, and it'd have to be up there, Chaz and Dave. Especially if you're an East Londoner. I mean, back to that question, Buddy Holly would be a great gig, I think. Bit of Peggy Sue. Yeah, there's some great things you'd want to see. You weren't here for that, Couv. If you could see any concert of all time, Couv, who would you see? You get to choose, you see one band from all time, who would you go and see? Hopefully Couv's still here. Oh no, my dad's turned up. Bloody hell. Oh, I've got to mute my
I brought you some chips to cheer him up.
Why do I need to be cheered up?
The Grech, no less.
Yeah, I've got my Grech.
Wow.
How come?
Because Scott was supposed to come and help me restring it today, but
Right.
he cancelled
As usual.
because of the wind.
Yeah, as usual. Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah.
It's a decaf.
They're not your quality of food. I can offer you. That's not been touched by anyone. That chip.
Ooh. Thank you, good sir. How's Father Kane?
Oh. Well, how long have you got?
Alright, so I heard you were moving offices, which
Done.
I'm happy for you.
Do you want to see a picture of the office?
Yeah.
No, hang on.
I think that's nice that you outgrew your other office before you could put the carpet in.
Sure.
Okay, now I have to take another.
Help
I'll
yourself.
fish one out.
You just help yourself.
Thank you.
Where's the?
Well, if you just
Okay.
402. Yep.
This way.
yeah. I'll make the
Hey, you can tell the chap that he's just writing it for him. Oh, yeah? Okay.
So I've built a kitchen right in the middle of the office with a great big workspace in the middle.
Okay,
Like
nice.
that. That's the office. All we filled out new cupboards.
Oh, okay, that's
Put the floor in. That's the wardrobe in there. That's the wardrobe. That's it.
Nice. How many
I've got
people
1,300 square feet. 3 people.
Nice.
You're going to be on the phone.
Hello? Oh, he can't wait. Is he coming back? Okay. Fine. Thank you. Bye. You couldn't wait.
So no decaf.
No, we do. We'll just hope that he comes back.
This guy's not patient, is he?
Well, probably it's his lunch break, or sorry, reading your messages to say you have the same phone. So that one is coming up probably. So
I wouldn't think, because we are on stream at the moment. You are on the internet.
wind sound.
Yes, we are on sound at the moment.
No.
Are you streaming our conversation?
Well, I've been streaming in my shop for the past hour, and
Why did he go on silent?
it's a bit annoying. We're going to be on mute for a second stream. I apologise for that deeply, chat. I'll give you an extra 10 minutes. My dad had to have a business meeting as always. Comes here and he starts taking over my shop with all his business talk, and then he doesn't want that said on stream because for good reason. But so, sorry Anthony, yeah. It's not so much what I'm saying, it's what people in the room are saying, and you can't see them, so it'd be... Sorry Talking Ball for not, Mr. Colin for not saying hello to you, and Mr. Catman Jess, it's lovely to have you in the stream as always. It's really annoying actually, because I was doing quite well. It was taking my viewers away from me. Typical. But yeah, we're actually gonna wrap up in 10 minutes. We'll give you an extra 10 minutes just so we get that 10 minutes back that I lost. Too bad I can't get a virtual coffee. I'm dragging ass today. Yeah, it's really annoying. Virtual coffees would be a great idea. All good, no problem. That's parents are our parents. That must be respected. Yeah, it's annoying that they don't tell me they're coming though, and they're going to interrupt my stream. But no one tells me nothing. Then buy chips and then eat them all. I don't want to eat on stream really, unless it's a biscuit. I don't really want to be seen eating tasty chips on stream, but. Yeah, how are you doing, Catman Jess, and how are you doing, Mr. Colin? Other than dragging ass, which is what you said. So yeah, we need to start thinking about what we're going to do. Need a big mug of coffee, Ben? Yep, I feel the same way. Interesting music chat today. Certainly varied conversations here, so all good. Yeah. Besides the tiredness, I'm great. Ready for Spurs tomorrow? Yeah, we're all ready for them tomorrow to ruin our weekends. How are you together? I'm good. I'm good. It's been a long week so far. We've done some great things. We're going to do some more great things. Sunday's going to be very exciting with me having my first proper talk. We're doing that in my local synagogue. We're going to talk about coffee and just have a great coffee chat. And hopefully some people buy my coffee. I need to roast some coffee in a minute, which means I need to move my guitar really. I need to put my guitar away and start turning my machine on. So that's what we're going to do. Oh no, that word Spurs. I'll be back in Tottenham mode tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not ready for them tomorrow, Anthony. I'm not ready for them. Good luck, man. You're gonna kill it. Yeah, we should do all right. We're gonna do all right, I think. So I'm gonna say good night to my lovely friend Candy. She's a beautiful lady. Sweet dreams, my darling. I'm gonna put Candy over here as well. As far away from my roasting machine as possible. I haven't turned my roaster on in a long while. Wind has now passed here. It's actually died down here, amazingly. It's still a tiny bit windy. I am still worried about my tree. But it should be fine. I'm really going to push my tree into the corner to see if I can save it a bit. It was very windy before. My dad really into his guitars, all sorts he's got, electric and acoustic. Has he got anything interesting? I love some guitars. Thanks for the chat, wish you a good weekend. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Chat is always good. Sorry about the 10 minutes I had to stay muted, but business is business, unfortunately. We've got to do it at some point. Your tree should get plenty of water tomorrow. Yeah, its pot is already flooded because it's not drained properly. But my trees, it really should be dead by now because it hasn't got any roots, but it's still alive and it's growing even. It's crazy, really. Caffeine really does work because I filled the pot full of coffee. I need it for my allotment. Yep. I still don't understand how my tree is growing without roots. Most people's Christmas trees have died. Mine hasn't. Mine's still going strong. I'll get a list next time I visit him. Good stuff, Anthony. yeah, I love a good old guitar. That's what I like. Replant it with some good compost soil with fertiliser and you might get another Christmas out of it. It's got no roots though, Cardamom, so it won't live. It won't live anyway. We are already in process of growing my own sakura tree, which is what I'm planning of doing. So that's what I would like to have outside my shop, a nice sakura tree. Have my own cherry blossoms. It's going to be fun. Need to figure out how to do it firstly. Need to learn how to germinate seeds. Need to start... roots will grow, not the way it's been cut right at the bottom. It's been cut. They've cut all the roots off of it. There's no way roots will grow the way they've cut it. If their roots grow, I'll be shocked. Yeah, it says the trunk will just start to rot soon, apparently, according to this. Hope you, Ben, and everyone on the chat has a good weekend. Goodbye all for now. Lovely to see you in here as always, Anthony, and you have a great weekend as well, my friend. I always think from the bottom up as a perspective, yeah. So yes, we've been going for 2 hours and 10 minutes. We are going to end the stream now and do some coffee roasting. It was brilliant to see you as always. We will be back on Monday at 2 o'clock, as always in the afternoon. Yeah, it's been a good stream so far. Sorry about the 10-minute absence, but you got to do what you got to do. It's always lovely to see all of you from... Let's go through the stream chat. Everyone's been here. For Carterman, to Biscuit Sinclair, to Anifa, to Derek Hutchinson, Anthony Gray, Mr. Philip Brady, the Godfather, to my buddy Seppi, to Tottenham Tantrum Gold, my boy Delmo, Mr. Jason Bell, to Kuva, to Mr. Talking Ball, to Mr. Colin himself. And that's everyone. Thank you so much for joining the stream. It was always lovely to have you guys here. Great afternoon, some great chat. We talked some guitars, some great music. We had a great chat. So as always, from everyone here at the Coffee Company, which is just me, to be honest, but Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next Monday. Ciao for now.